Hello, I am Weather Mike, and this is your Southern Minnesota Storm Alert update for. I should probably record that. January 16th, 2020, for the storm upcoming starting about tomorrow. I'm gonna go through some of the maps and stuff that are out there, and kind of give you my normal prediction that I like to do. So let's pop this over into my browser window here. I should zoom this in. There we go. So, National Weather Service, they are saying that there is a winter storm warning in, I should probably bring that up, in much of Minnesota. And with that, you are going to have, um, there's a very good possibility of even blizzard-like conditions. If not a blizzard warning, there will be at least blizzard-like conditions. Um, There'll be heavy snow on Friday, and it's kind of all over Minnesota. You're not totally immune to any of this. Here is our area, and you'll notice it's all pretty much all winter storm warnings. Um, there was talk of possibility in the kind of more western Minnesota of blizzard-like or blizzard warning. They weren't entirely sure as of this afternoon what that would look like. So, if you look at our lovely map here, this is generally what the National Weather Service is predicting. So they're looking at much more depth, higher amounts of snow, kind of the central region here, just east, no, west of the Twin Cities. Mankato area, it looks like mostly around the 7-inch range. It could go down to like Albert Lee area down to 6. So 6 to 7, kind of this area here. If we pop over to the probabilistic, okay, I can't pronounce that, snowfall forecast. So here's that same map. We pop over into the high end. So this is usually where the National Weather Service sets their high end. And they're saying on the high end, Mankato is going to get 7, Fairmont, Albert Lee, 7 to 8. So this is what they would say it's a 10% chance of the higher snowfall, and then you're pretty much guaranteed you're going to get at least 5 inches, is what they're saying here. There's a 90% chance of 5 inches. If you get less, that's pretty, yeah. So, here's your greater than 8 inches, 30% Mankato, 50% in Hutchinson, and then I'm sure if you go 8, let's see, that was 8. If you go 12 plus, there's some slight chances, but not much more. They're not predicting 12. Anything else from here? No, this is your statewide in case you're traveling, which I highly advise not if you can absolutely avoid it, because blizzards can get dangerous. And wind chill, the cold will come back after the snow is gone. So sorry about that. So if we go into the oh, it's a little hard to read here. If you go into their what are they calling this winter storm severity index, they're saying that there are going to be moderate impacts for a lot of the areas. If you're traveling to the cities like I am this weekend, you may find more major impacts in certain areas. And if you're traveling more south, you may find that you're not having quite as much issues. Um, so hopefully you're not traveling, but if you do, make the best of it. Oh, I didn't reset this. So here's kind of your timing for your snow here. Um, Now remember that here's your time here. So it's 14Z actually translates to, come on, brain, or I look at my cheat sheet, 8 a.m. So this is 8 a.m. right here. So might subtract 6, and that it's considered what Greenwich Mean Time, technically UTC, or if you're more scientific, it's called Zulu now for whatever reason. And from there, we're -6 because of where we're at. So that's what the math on that. So we're at it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Here's 9. So you can see at 10 it should start snowing. So it looks like for Mankato directly, and in the surrounding counties to the west, they'll start getting it about 9, and then 10, between 9 and 10, Mankato will start snowing, and then just watch the system as it kind of blows up. And then, so your really heavy stuff is early, as you can kind of see here in the dark blues. Then as you start going through the night into the morning, so this is midnight, and you'll see you have a much lighter snow. And then as the system kind of circulates back, it looks like I hit the end of this model. But the last I looked, and I can look at another model if we need to, but it does look like probably around that. Well, this is 6 a.m. now, so somewhere in the morning the snow should start to kind of wane off. Even this could be just really thin snow if it's even snowing. Here's another example of the timing, which really this is 15 again, so that's 9 o'clock. So 2 miles are kind of saying that 9 o'clock. This one only goes out 18 hours. And so this is good for the day of, not so much the day before. So snow totals. We've seen what the National Weather Service has shown us, and they're predicting around that 7 range, or if you kind of go what the range that they normally issue out, 6 to 8 inches for Mankato. So we go out to the National Weather Service global forecast model. So this one, the last I read, they were predicting the snowfall will be about 12 to 14 to 1. So I think in their scientific terms, they're talking about 1 millimeter to 1 centimeter of snow is 10 to 1. Yeah, I think the ratio still technically works inch to 10, 1 inch of rain to 10 inches of snow. I think the ratio still works, but anyway, so they're thinking a little bit higher ratio than 10 to 1 here, just because it's going to be a little bit colder. So at the 10 to 1 range, it's on the low side, it's going to be about 7.5 inches of snow. And if I can hover around surrounding areas, kind of 6 to 7 range, it looks like. If you go to this model, supposedly takes into account how wet the snow is supposed to be, and it's supposed to be, quote, a little bit better predictor. It's still relatively experimental, as I understand it, but I have been finding it's pretty good. So as you kind of see Nicola County, some of the northern parts, you could get up to maybe even 11 inches still based on this model. And this is the most recent run. I wonder if it's available yet. It is not. So the latest and greatest model is still coming out, and that's not helping for timing for recording. So you can kind of see a little higher side here, about 8, almost 9 inches of snow for Mankato directly, and then some surrounding is 7, some 6s there. This is generally regarded as not necessarily the most accurate, but you'll see what these forecasters typically are looking at when they are going through all these models. So we go to this one, which is usually a little bit higher resolution, a little bit closer in, and you'll see here 6 versus the 7 on the other model. And then if we move over to here, you'll see 8.6. So again, on the they're matching kind of on that high side to that 8-inch range. And then we go to the Canadian model here. So they're still kind of matching on that 7-inch or so range. And then same thing, I believe, if I remember right, on the high side here. Oh, this one's showing it's a little bit higher. So this is showing up to be about 11 or so with a let's see here. I think New Ulm's are out there, so just west of New Ulm with the, if you want to call it the hole, with the bigger dump. I'm thinking based on everything I've seen, this is a less likely model, but this one also only updates twice a day, so things have changed since then as well. Where some of the others update up to 4 times a day. So last year I referenced this quite often, and I forgot to pull it out last time I did this. So Windy, my next favorite app, if you want to call it that. So this, I really like this for a lot of different modeling because it simplifies things down. So, quote, the common person can understand this. So, as you see here, I'm under rain and thunder. I have new snow. So this is new snow in the next 3 days, and I can pop this out to 5, and totals don't really change much. In fact, it goes down. That's weird. So, and I have this centered on Mankato. So, the GFS here on this one, and this is where I'm not understanding. They're only saying 6.6 where we were seeing a 7. I suppose we can see the last time this updated. They updated 5 hours ago. The next one is coming in a couple hours. So it's possible this was based off an older, or this is based off an older run. It's possible that's why. But if you kind of scroll around here, 6 to 6 inches, kind of depending upon exactly where you're at, but it's pretty consistent here. And then if we go over to the ECMWF is one typically you have to pay for, but they must be paying for it, obviously. They are a commercial business. It's showing a little bit lower, and a lot of people like to default to this model because it usually is a little more accurate in the end. But this one is lowballing things, and I'm not sure what to think about that. So the other thing I want to show with this then is if we click on Mankato here, we'll get one more thing I want to show. Hopefully you can see this on the screen here. Sorry, I keep forgetting to look to make sure the sizing is good. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to figure this whole stream or that recording video thing out. Oh, they shifted things a little bit. Okay, so here's 4 different models. This one I haven't found any maps for. All I've seen is it in this form like this. So, GFS here has a starting about 12 p.m. on Friday, and 12 p.m., 3 p.m., and 12 p.m. So, well, not, I guess between 9 and 12, I suppose, is kind of what they're thinking. So at 12 p.m., they're saying somewhere between a quarter inch all the way up to an inch of snow. And you can just kind of start, let's see if I can zoom in, because it's really hard to see even for me. No, that's not helping. Probably is going to be hard to see on there, but this is 1 inch, 2 inch, 1 inch, 2 inch. So a lot of these are predicting a period of 2 inches within a 3-hour period, which is quite a bit, quite heavy. And then it kind of shows it kind of lingering off in different spots. I wish they'd show a total on these, but you can do the if you can pause if you want to do the math yourself. Kind of already previously shown all those, but here's kind of what to expect for your weather. And then as you look towards Monday again, it starts to get cold. So prepare for yourself for some cold. The other thing to note, and this is only wind. This is only the sustained wind. You'll see there is quite a bit of wind throughout this system, upwards of 30 or even more. I can also, let's see here. Where am I? Sometimes maps don't go the way you want. Stop. Where are you? Oh, you gotta love maps sometimes. You bump it and it just moves you around without fully telling you where you are. Okay, so if we change this over here to the wind, if you're on the web version, if you just kind of a click in a spot, let's see here, close that first. If you just kind of click on a spot, this little flag will pop up. So this is Thursday night. That's right about now. As we scroll into Friday, this is your stronger winds, and you can kind of see your graph down here. So as you kind of go through Friday here, and you will notice that it starts to get pretty windy. And let's just keep it in the middle of the day Friday here, and let's change this over to our wind gusts. Here we go. Here's your money here. So 35, 38, 40s. Kind of when you get to your prairies areas, the winds kind of go up. When you get down to more of the river valleys here, it's not quite so much. And then it's not quite so bad up in the cities areas either. So, and then if you fast forward that into Saturday, look at this cool sharp gradient here of wind speeds. But now you're talking 50, 40, 50 mile an hour wind gusts. And I believe as you scroll this forward, yep, it'll start kind of below itself through here. And eventually kind of collapse as the evening hits. So, it's going to be a lot of snow, a lot of wind. It's not going to be pleasant. If you absolutely can stay home, if you have to, pack for winter survival, because if you run into an issue, you're going to have you're going to have problems if you don't have enough food or food, water, drink, gas, all the above. Anything else? Nope, I think that is it. So my ultimate prediction, I'm thinking between I really think we're going to be in that high side of the 7 to 8 range, but I'm going to kind of stick with the National Weather Service here. Ultimately, say somewhere between 6 and 8 inches. Again, it really depends upon that ratio, and that is where things become important. So, yep, we're going to call that as it is. If you one other cool thing, when you hit summer with this, you can see potentially how much rain you could get. So 5.6 inches, you do that 12 to 1 on that, you can start to kind of figure out what might be out there. So I'm going to wrap this up, and hopefully this is useful. Please leave a comment down below in the comments on YouTube here. There we go. The comments down over here somewhere. And then over here, if I can point correctly, you can subscribe to this so you can get all of my updates that happen. I'm working on trying to get a green screen behind me so I can do some cool effects with that. I'm learning a lot more about the software as I go. And then it's just the acquiring of the materials that are needed to put stuff together. And then you can kind of see the whole map behind my head, and I'm just kind of a floating body in that whole thing, which is kind of cool too. So yes, please subscribe. like it if you like it, or I guess you can dislike if you don't like my forecast. But it weather is what it is. Mother Nature will deliver what Mother Nature will deliver. So all we can do is have an idea of what's going to happen and write it out. So until the next storm, this is Mike and our weather Mike, and this has been your Southern Minnesota alert. And talk to you next time. Bye.